Hello Sagittarius, Elsie here to do a reading for you, my friends. Happy Halloween. How are you? I hope you're well. Thank you so much for clicking here. And happy Samhain for those of you who are celebrating, my Gaelic, Celtic, Pagan, and Wiccan friends. Look, your junk predates Christianity by centuries. And so blessings to you and the ancestors on this night, my friends. We are going to look at a 9-card draw. That's what we're doing this week for you. And that's what is lighting up my brain this week, Sagittarius. My fire family, let's find out what's going on for you in the week ahead. That's how I read. So if you've never been here before, welcome. And we have a pretty big Sag troop here. And I am reading for the week ahead whenever you get this, whether that's today, tomorrow, or next year. So look, there could be a whole pile of junk back in the archives there. And that may resonate with you at this time. If this one does not, here we go. Let's find out what's going on for Sag. Oh, at the end of this reading, by the way, I'm going to tell you how to find the extended, and I'll talk about private read. I have a private read sale that's going on just till midnight tonight. We'll talk about that. Tell me about Sag. We have the 10 of Swords in the reverse, Sagittarius. I think I had the deck in the reverse, but it is what it is, right? All things happen the way that they're supposed to. We have, more swords. The King of Swords. Sag, what's going on? I think you're ready to swing the sword. You sure are. Sag, you're ready to swing the sword here. The 10 of Swords is in the reverse. The King of Swords is here, making no bones about it. And the 6 of Swords is here, getting out of the chaos, going to the calm. So look, the 10 of Swords being in the reverse tells me that you've been carrying around some sort of mental chaos, I'm going to say. Something that you've been overthinking. I don't really know if I should do this. Is this the right thing to do? Sag, I feel like the King of Swords it only shows up when it's time to face something. The King of Swords is always going to face forward, always going to take care of things face to face. You're never going to hear that the King of Swords is speaking behind your back. The King of Swords is taking care of it all forward, like face forward here. So I feel like you're about to swing the sword, give somebody the truth, and whether you do that silently, like in your own mind, or whether you do that verbally will be up to you. But it feels like here you are about to swing the sword and bring something to a complete and total end. Because I feel like it's clouding the mind. I feel like it's causing chaos in the mind for you. And it's time for you to move to a calmer place. I want to say that this is something you've been thinking about for a while, because with the 6 of Swords, this is already in transition. It has been in transition. You've been thinking about it. But I think it's just too painful. It's almost like, why am I holding out hope for this thing to work out when I know it's not going to work out? I might as well just swing the sword, cut it out, and be done with it. That's what it feels like. That's Sag energy if I ever felt it. When you're pushed to a limit, Sag, you're like, You know what? In order for you to be happy, in order for you to have joy and celebration, and it feels like you need to take care of something that has been plaguing your mind here. It feels like it is going to make you feel much lighter, much happier. We've got the Hanged Man at the center of the reading, which is the heart of the matter. And so this tells me that this is what's been going on for a while for you here, Sag. You've got to get something in perspective, or you've been trying to get something in perspective, but you've sort of been putting something on pause. And I think that what you've been putting on pause is causing the 10 of Swords for you or for someone else, because you know that when we get to the 10, it can be pretty painful, right? I got to leave something behind that I didn't intend that I'd have to leave behind, but here we are, right? And so I feel like that there is this 10 of Swords that you intend on cutting something out here after coming to clarity and perspective, that cutting this thing out, you feel a little bit cornered, I'm going to say, because the 10 of Swords in the reverse is in the corner. Something was about to come to an end anyway, so I feel like this swinging of the sword and cutting something out is not premature. I feel like it was dying or was ready to end anyway. I think that it's going to make you feel much easier when you release. We've got the full moon, right, above the head of this person who is detaching emotionally, and that's what this is, right? The swords are always about head over heart energy. Somebody is detaching emotionally, and that's the perspective. I'm going to pull back my energy. It's time for me to do that. Look, we have a full moon coming up November the 5th, and it is in Taurus, I think. It is time. Yeah, it's time for you to pull back and to decide that there's more out there for you. You know, the 8 of Cups is an okay place to be. It's not terrible, but I feel like it's a place where you were settling for less than you deserve. So I feel like this detachment has been in progress for a while, that slowly you are going to pull your time, energy, and efforts away from a situation because it's going to make you happier. You might be moving away from a friend group and going to another social thing. It feels like you're making some sort of you're backing away slowly from something here in order to have your inner happiness. Because it does feel like this is sort of a torturous place to be where something is not yet over, but you're not sure if you should end it or should you wait for them to end it? Should you wait for the situation to end or should you swing the sword? I think that in an effort to give yourself mental clarity that you're the one that's swinging the sword, so you're ending the relationship, quitting the job, whatever it is, ending the situation, because I think it's become too painful to hang here in this paused energy where you're really not getting anything done. You're getting clarity, you're getting perspective, but it's time. Your perspective is, I've got to clear my old energy, is what it is here. We've got the Empress, and the Empress would do that. The Empress is the Queen of Swords, right? The Empress is somebody who's realized their worth and knows that I can do it on my own without this mental mishmash that I've been going through here, without being stalled mentally, without worrying about hurting someone, without worrying about moving on. It feels like the Empress is here realizing I can do it myself. I don't really need anyone else's help. I can do it myself. We've got the Queen of Swords. I just spoke of her, right? We speak of her and there she is. So we've got the Queen of Swords. It does feel like somebody here has decided to be honest with themselves. And, you know, the Queen of Swords is Libra energy. The Queen of Swords is not the person who is going to say something harsh in order to make a point or prove themselves right. This person knows that they have truth. They know that they're honest. They know what they want. And this person is somebody who's just going to be really honest. Look, I don't think that I feel very fulfilled in this situation anymore. I think it's time to release it. I've been thinking about that for a long while. And whether you're saying that to somebody or saying it in swords in the mind, whether you're saying it to yourself, I feel like you don't have a problem moving forward here, because the Queen of Swords and the Empress being on the table at the same time, for me, this is the lesson that you learned. And once you use this lesson or you learn it, then you really do fully step into the Empress energy. For me as a reader, I mean, it's not like that 100% of the time, but for me as a reader, it always comes up over and over to teach me this lesson that the Queen of Swords is the hardest queen to learn, because not only is she independent, but she's somebody who's going to speak her mind in order to get balance for herself, and that might not match what everyone else around her wants for themselves. So I feel like detachment is here. Queen of Detachment is here. Eight of Cups is detaching emotionally, releasing some things under the full moon, which I feel like if you know, you know. If you're already feeling full moon energies, I couldn't sleep last night and I wondered why. And then I started looking up, well, when's the next full moon? Sure enough, it's around the corner, less than 5 days away, right? So what's under the surface? Well, Seven of Swords is here with the Five of Swords. You have been struggling. You've been on the struggle bus mentally. You've been struggling with, do I let this go? Do I just release myself from this Seven Swords energy where I feel like I'm tippy-toeing around everything and everyone because I don't want to say the truth? Because I feel like you're tippy-toeing around things because you don't want to cause a fight. You don't want to cause an argument because you know that the thought patterns that you're having are fundamentally different than the other people in your life. And I feel like you don't want to start an argument. Like there's no reason for us to go out guns a-blazing. So I think that you've been keeping your opinions underneath the surface, and that really just doesn't allow you to be your authentic self, King or Queen of Swords, right? We've got the Page of Cups at the bottom of the deck. Look, I don't think that this is something that you're planning on doing. I think you've been thinking about it, but I feel like what's been holding you back is your loyalty, right? We've got the King of Swords and the Empress. They are both very loyal. Queen of Pentacles, right? King of Swords is a fixed sign. Queen of Pentacles is Capricorn, right? But the queens, right, are the ones who are loving to help people and do things for them. And, and I feel like the King of Swords is also here to say, you know what, I'm loyal, but I can't be loyal anymore because I don't feel good about this. I'm stuck in this arc here of being caught in the mind in this chaos of should I, shouldn't I. I feel like somebody's just going to swing the sword and go. Because when the Queen of Swords is here, the Queen of Swords has a sword up in the air that's like, hey, I got something to say. The King of Swords does it quietly and makes that decision and pulls away quietly. Doesn't make any fanfare. But the Queen of Swords is going to stand up and say, you know what, I don't think this is matching my ideals anymore. I don't think it matches with my thought patterns anymore. And somebody here is getting up to go. Or maybe for some of you, you might be backing away quietly. Tell me why the King of Swords is here. Or wait, let's talk about what's coming to an end. Because there's still something here that's in play, but I feel like the King of Swords is reasoning with the self and getting all the facts together and saying, no, I got to face this thing. I can't look at it side eye anymore. We have the Queen of Cups. We have the Knight of Wands, and we have the Eight of Wands. And so it does feel like something is about to push forward. I feel like that this Ten of Swords energy is softened just a little bit by the Queen of Cups energy. It does feel like somebody is going to be brave and make the brave decision to bring something deeply emotional to an end and then move on. And I think you're doing it King of Swords style. I think you're just going to say, I gotta go. Yeah, I'm going to start pulling away my energy here. It's time for me to put my energy elsewhere. It does feel like you were thinking about this because all of these swords are coming up with the Hanged Man being at the center of your read, which is, the heart of the matter, which is I could be a lot happier if I disconnect. This is the perspective, right? Tell me about this Hanged Man. We've got the Seven of Pentacles. You waited. I feel like you waited, and this is what this angst is, right? This is living in the chaos of wanting to make the decision but not making the decision, keeping it all under the surface. Seven of Pentacles is I waited until I got perspective. You didn't do this. This isn't a rash decision for you, Sagittarius. I feel like this is a decision of I've got to do this now. But honestly, I feel like you wake up feeling super balanced one morning here, like this justice energy. I feel it as an energy reader, and tarot readers are all different, and I read energy. I always feel this like a really heavy puzzle piece that finally snaps in place. It's like, oh, I didn't think that fit there, and now it fits there. It's like I hear the sound of like a jail door closing, but you're on the right side of that door. It's like, okay, no, I'm going to lock that thing away because I need a little more balance for myself. So it almost feels like you wake up one morning and you're like, oh, yeah. Well, I need justice. I need balance. I need to restore myself. I need to get back on the path that I was on before I started compromising with people. And so it feels like it quite by surprise. I think the Page of Cups is telling me, quite by surprise, you surprise yourself and you're like, okay, well, I think that was done. That was fun, but I think it's over because it's not really going anywhere from here. We've got the Page of Wands. It does feel like you now feel a little bit more excited. It almost feels like you pull yourself out of the tree here. The Nine of Swords, it feels like the Nine of Swords is the place where you were, the Seven of Pentacles waiting, and it was just giving you this nervous energy or this angst about, I really want to go do something exciting, more exciting than what I'm doing right now. And so it feels like somebody here is using this Eight of Cups energy, this detachment energy with the Queen of Swords, using this energy just simply to get out of the Nine of Swords, because the Nine of Swords doesn't feel very good, right? It feels like feeling a little bit anxious about what is about to come or what's about to happen here. Let's talk about this Empress, because I feel like the reason that all this is going down is because you're stepping into your Empress energy. You're changing vibration, or you're realizing your worth. And you've probably been an Empress for a while, but I know by being an Empress that sometimes I can get led off the path because I want to help people, because that's who the Empress is. Really wants to make everything good and well and kind and happy and stable and together for everybody, but you can't. You can't make everybody a project, right? And so I think that somebody here is snapping themselves back into order with the Queen of Swords and the Empress energy here. Look, I gotta be honest with myself. I can't keep taking care of everyone else and putting my own thoughts, wishes, all of that behind me. When the Five of Swords shows up, it's like somebody is not being authentic because they're trying to hold it under the surface, Seven of Swords, because I don't want to fight. I don't want to be against the group, think, or whatever it is. But I'm an independent thinker. I've got to think what I think, and I've got to get myself back in order. This is also Libra energy. The Empress is the Moon energy. We've got the Hanged Man, interesting. And then the Emperor, okay. So I feel like it's time for you to get away from whatever situation you're in, disconnect emotionally. It might be a social group we're talking about, but I feel like this Moon energy tells me things are not as they seem. So I feel like you snap yourself back to reality and you're honest with yourself with the Queen of Swords. You get the perspective that you need, and then the Emperor shows up and says, what are you doing? Why are you an Empress among pages? What are you doing? You're the Empress. What are you trying to attract pages for? Why are you trying to attract knights? What are you doing? I feel like somebody here shows up in your life, a person of influence, and reminds you of your worth, reminds you what level you're on here. I feel, Sagittarius, that you're on a much higher level and I feel like you've been hanging out with knights and pages, but it feels like you're Queen of Queens. Like you're somebody who's quite who has a lot of knowledge, maybe a bunch of wisdom, because that's who the queen is. But the Emperor shows up to reflect back to you who you really are and show you what your worth is. So I really feel that when you let go of something, when you disconnect emotionally from something you didn't want to disconnect from, I feel like somebody here shows up in your future. They could be a romantic connection for you, but the Emperor and Empress aren't always. They're just two people who are on the same vibration, who are reminding each other and mirroring the worth. Remember who you are. Remember what you fought to get here. Remember what you gave up to get here. Yeah. So we've got the Queen of Swords again showing up second time. Universe says, I said what I said. It's time for you to be honest with yourself. Look, we're going to go into the extended. We're going to talk about what you've been holding under the surface and why you think that this is going to cause an argument. But I really do feel like somebody here is going to wake up in the next little bit and say, oh, well, what the hell? Why have I been doing that? Why have I been compromising my intelligence? Why have I been compromising my wisdom? And why have I been allowing people to tell me who I am? Because, well, I didn't want to cause a fight or an argument. I feel like you wake up one morning and you're like, oh, I don't really need this again anymore. Yeah, I don't know why I was standing for it. It's like you realize your worth again all of a sudden, that you were happy on your own before. And if you're realizing, like the Emperor is coming to show the Empress, mirror back to the Empress, look, you were happy on your own before, when you could do your own thing and you weren't compromising your fundamental values in order to fit in with a group. So we're going to go to the extended. If you want to be in the extended, please look at the pinned comment that is the top of all the comments. We're going to talk about this group, whether they are new or whether that's the group that you're pulling away from. But there's somebody swinging the sword here and being honest and truthful and probably a little bit brutal. And we're going to talk about that. If you're interested in seeing the extension, you can purchase this one outright. There is a link in the pinned comment. If you would like to come to the membership area where you can get at least 4 of these extended readings in a month, then you can do that. If you're interested in a private read, only until midnight tonight do I have the 10% Halloween special on, and up until midnight tonight you will be able to book 10% off of any of the readings that I have. And if you're interested in a private reading that is over the phone or face-to-face, please look at my schedule at Hypsee. There's a link in that link there in the pinned comment for you as well. Take a look at my schedule, anywhere between 5 and 75% off of the live reads. All right, I'm going to go for now. Thank you so much for being here and watching. I appreciate you. I'm going to go to the extended now. See you there if you're there. Love you guys. See you later. Bye.